Let's talk about money. When you think about getting good with it, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably stuff like complex formulas, right? Or those crazy stock charts. Maybe some high-level economic theory? Well, what if I told you that's kind of all wrong? What if being good with money has way less to do with what you know and everything to do with how you behave? That's exactly what we're going to dive into.
Money.
You probably think it's all about numbers.
And spreadsheets, of course. And it's, just math. But you're wrong. The real stuff, the big decisions, they don't happen in a spreadsheet. Nope. They happen at the dinner table or in a meeting, and they're driven by this really messy mix of ego, pride, fear, all the human stuff. And that right there brings us to our first big idea. Getting good with money isn't a hard science like physics or chemistry. It's a soft skill. It's all about behavior. How you act is so much more important than how much you know. So the psychology of money is really about this dance between the cold, hard logic of a spreadsheet and the, let's be honest, messy reality of being a human. Think about it. Your own personal history, how you see the world, your ego, all of that stuff plays a huge role in every single financial choice you make. I love this quote from Morgan Housel because it just nails it. People do some crazy things with money, but no one is crazy. See, the financial decisions you make, they make perfect sense to you. They're based on your life, your experiences. Which you do with your money might look absolutely bonkers to me, and what I do might look nuts to you. But from inside our own heads, we're both being totally rational. And all those unique perspectives, they kind of come together to create your financial DNA. It's like this invisible script, written by everything you've ever been through, and it's quietly guiding every financial move you make. Okay, check this out. It's a perfect example. If you were born in 1970, you saw the S&P 500 go up tenfold when you were a teenager. So of course you're going to be pretty optimistic about stocks, right? But what if you were born in 1950? In your teens and 20s, the market basically went nowhere. You're probably going to be a lot more skeptical. See? It's not just a part of the story. Your personal experience with money is the whole story. All right, let's switch gears to something that is honestly a little unfair. I'm talking about the power of time and compounding. Our brains are just not wired to understand this stuff intuitively, but it is the secret to how real wealth is built. Get a load of this number. Of Warren Buffett's $84.5 billion net worth, $81.5 billion of it was earned after his mid-60s. That's insane. Yeah, he's a brilliant investor, no doubt, but his real secret weapon? It's not some genius stock-picking formula. It's the fact that he started investing when he was a kid and just never, ever stopped. His secret is time. Now let's do a little comparison. You've got Jim Simons over here. By the numbers, he might be the greatest investor ever. His hedge fund has compounded money at an unbelievable 66% a year. That's 3 times higher than Warren Buffett's 22%. So here's the question. Why is Buffett 75% richer? How does the guy with the lower return end up so much wealthier? It's simple, really. Simons didn't really hit his stride until he was 50. Buffett, he had a 40-year head start. That is the mind-bending power of compounding. And just to really blow your mind with this, if Simons had started as early as Buffett and kept up that crazy 66% return, his net worth would be, well, it's a number that doesn't even feel real. $63 quintillion. I mean, obviously, that's just a fun thought experiment, but it proves the point. Good returns that you can sustain for a really, really long time, that's the thing that wins. So what this all really tells us is that success isn't always just about skill or how hard you work. We have to talk about the invisible forces at play, luck, and risk. And you really can't have one without the other. They are two sides of the exact same coin. This story about Bill Gates is the perfect illustration. He had this 1-in-a-million stroke of luck, right? He got to go to the only high school in the world that had a computer back in 1968. But then you have his friend, Kent Evans. Just as smart, just as driven, he suffered a 1-in-a-million tragedy, a mountaineering accident before they even graduated. So you've got luck on one side and risk on the other, same skills, same passion, but completely different outcomes, all because of things they couldn't control. And this leads to a really powerful concept called tail events. The idea is pretty simple. A very small number of events end up being responsible for the vast majority of the results. Think about Amazon. They can have a bunch of failures, remember the Fire Phone? Because one or two massive hits, like Prime and Amazon Web Services, pay for all the misses and then some. It's not about being right all the time. It's about being right big just a few times. Okay, so all of this is building to what might be the most important point of all. We've talked about behavior, we've talked about time, luck, risk, but why? What's the goal? What are we even trying to achieve with money? And to answer that, you have to understand the huge difference between being rich and being wealthy. Being rich, that's your current income. It's the stuff you can see, the flashy car, the big house. But wealth is invisible. It's the money you haven't spent. It's the savings, the investments. Wealth is the foundation that gives you options and ultimately freedom. And that's the real goal, isn't it? The highest dividend money pays. It isn't fancy stuff. It isn't status. It's the ability to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want. It's waking up in the morning and saying, you know what? I'm in complete control of my day. That is true wealth. So at the end of the day, your money tells a story. And it's a story that you're writing every single day with your behavior. It's not just about the numbers in your bank account. It's about freedom. It's about your past. And it's about your idea of what a good life really is. So let me just leave you with this.